Mm. Peace to the planet Earth. It is Sunday. It's a wonderful Sunday, man. We are up here. As always, better late than never. It's supposed to be up here at 8:30. Shout out to Facebook right now. That's got my account restricted about 413 different ways. I've got to put in my password every 6 minutes. So I don't know if it's hackers, scammers, or just the traffic that we're getting, but the platform's growing, so I take it as a good sign, man. Shout out to the YouTube family, the Twitter family, the TikTok family. We don't know how much longer the TikTok family gonna be here. But shout out to all the platforms, social media, everybody that's checking in, man. Supporting the story. Quick shout outs. Life Changers today, man. Got a shout out. Life Changers Ministry. Great service today.
Yes.
Shout out to Monique Yesenia, who got an award today. Rightfully so. She's getting honored tonight at Daryl Redmond's event.
Yes. Congratulations, Queen.
Sis. She's a big supporter. She's got a show here on D100 TV, which is amazing.
Absolutely.
So grateful for sis. Grateful for that. She's well deserved, man. What you got? Before I keep going, I'm just over here.
Shout out to MJ, your girl MJ.
Shout out to MJ.
Her podcast is doing numbers. I just love her whole vibe.
Conversations.
So Fluid Conversations. Make sure that you tune into that. Also, I have a show coming out as well. It'll be launching in May. So I'm excited about it. I'm excited about the awards next week with Miss Monique. A pleasure to be honored by such a wonderful queen. I'm going to be receiving an award for Educator of the Year, and I'm very excited. I'm just so grateful in this season. You know, you just never know just what the little things can do to make just major phenomenons happen, and just to be honored in that way is so special to me. So shout out to Miss Monique. That's it for now.
That's it. Shout out to all the star givers, people that have been donating stars.
Thank you.
Definitely. It helps grow the platform. Shout out to Todd Patterson.
Yes, thank you, Todd.
Yeah,
the website is man.
Who's teaching me how not to be a caveman little by little, along with the assistance of my wife, of course. Website d100tv.org. That'll be launching May 1st. So we're excited about that. Bunch of different programs. We're going to get a blog. Of course, the community chat's going to keep going, but we're also going to be doing some educational pieces.
Yes.
Some more, I don't want to say how to, I just keep it educational. I'm going to say that. You're going to see more therapeutic things over there, more specific coursework, you know, for people that have been impacted by incarceration or might be dealing with mental health issues. So as you're watching this, anybody that wants to get involved, if you're a justice impacted person or you're just passionate about prisoners' rights, hit me up. You can hit me up right here. Let me put my email, get in touch with me by email at cwillers@ignite-justice.org. Hit me up. I'm looking for people that want to get involved here with the platform and Ignite Justice. If you're down here in Georgia or anywhere, you can hit me up about that too. An organization is dedicated to abolishing slavery, as my wife reminded me to look at the camera. But yeah, we're working. There's a lot of stuff going on. I'm looking for people that are smarter than me. I feel like that's what any smart person should do, is when they create something, they have the opportunity to get people on board. They should look for people that are smarter than them, just got better vision. And I know that there's a million more people that are talented, way more talented than me, will have vision and words that need to be seen and heard. So anybody that wants to get involved with D100 TV, not just .org, but the channel itself, the platform, and who knows what else this thing's going to be, hit me up. Let's start working together. Let's start networking. I think that's my whole little spiel right there.
Ignite Justice team.
Ignite. Yeah, shout out to Emily. Shout out to Jennifer. They're teaching me a lot. If you have a loved one that's incarcerated, I highly suggest you connect with people or organizations like Ignite Justice that'll teach you how to advocate for your loved one or for yourself. Sometimes you've got people and things and whatever, they want to charge you and they want to do this. But if you can learn how to fight your own fight, then the better off you'll be. So connect with people like that. And if you want to connect with Ignite Justice, you can email me as well. And I'll get you hooked up with Jennifer, Emily, myself, or somebody on the team. Good morning, Tara. Shout out, Tara. Ignite Justice, Georgia. Good evening. I said,
Good
that's a good
morning.
morning.
You did.
If y'all know my life, you know a little bit of my life because I post a little bit. Yeah, I run a lot. There's a lot going on. I don't even know what today's date is. 16th. What is today's date?
Sound good.
We're just here. Aside from that, May 7th, Yorktown, VA. Browns Park, 1 to 5. It's a Sunday. I'm predicting the sun to be shining.
Yes.
My brother, who's still incarcerated, with 186,000 signatures of support, signed signatures of support for his release, but he is still currently incarcerated.
Free JB.
Yeah, free Jefferson Ellie. That's kind of why a lot of this stuff started. I did not get up here just to tell my story. I literally got up here because I was trying to draw attention to my brother's case.
Yep.
And so far, so good. And we're going to keep rocking like that. His event is hosted by his nonprofit, We God, Weaving Educational Genealogy, Occupational Development. It's all about the youth. This is the Youth Our Future Day. We're focused on the youth, not just that day, every day. We'll be giving away his published works, The Youth Our Future. It's an amazing book. It's rhyming and it's catching, and it teaches children that they're not limited to certain positions in life and that the sky is the limit. That's why I love the book. Shameless plug. The youthourfuture.com real quick if you want to go and purchase that. But we're giving away books. Brother Flake gonna be up there teaching kids how to knock people out. I mean, give boxing lessons. We're giving away food. What else we got? Gift certificates. We got TikTok dance studio. I don't know what it got.
Painting.
Yeah, face painting. We got everything. Shout out to Erica Holiday and man, I don't even know. Everybody, man, just anybody, man, that's helping get these things together. Just shout out to everybody. That's it, man. Shout out to my brother again for making this work. Shout out to, I'm just thinking of some random people I'm gonna shout out. Shout out to Tiffany Christian's Facebook family. Shout out to Precious Rhodes family. Shout out to certain people, man. I see y'all. Shout out to the fighters, Tara Warnke. Shout out to everybody that's been messaging me about their situations dealing with their loved ones. And I would be remiss before we got into the topic if I didn't discuss this just for 1 second to bring it to y'all awareness. We're going to get into the topic. But did you know that last week here in Georgia, a man lost his life in jail because he was ate by bed bugs?
Yeah. Because
the jails are that dirty. And inside GDC right now, it's hell on earth. It's like that in the jails and the prisons as well. And I had to bring alert. Google it. Look it up. He lost his life because he got ate to death by bed bugs. Fulton County, Georgia. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's all over social media.
Yeah, so. It's all over. But if you don't know about it, check it out. And maybe that'll encourage you, to step up and do some things, man.
Yeah.
All right, we'll switch it up. Because I was just thinking of what's the topic, though? What's the topic? Let's switch it up.
The topic tonight, we're going to be talking about making the distance work. And I just feel like it's long distance is long distance. It doesn't really matter the miles if you have bars between you and your significant other. So I still feel like in a way it's not a conventional relationship, and how to navigate through some of these challenges, which can still be applied to, I feel like, just everyday, maybe long distance relationships. How do you make this work? How do you keep the fire burning and really stay connected to your partner? So that's what we're going to talk about tonight.
Making the long distance relationship work, or while one spouse is in and one spouse is out, or one partner's in, one partner's out. Where do you want to start? You got a top 5? You want to drop a jewel? Because you picked that. Oh, and shout out to the Plan for Keeps podcast.
Yes,
we were up there Saturday. That episode will be dropping. We have had some pretty amazing opportunities so far.
Yeah,
man. Shout out to Hip Hop Network TV. Everybody, man. I'm just putting up the comments. Where do you want to start at, though?
I just feel like we should just talk about maybe what you're not receiving. Let's just get right into the hard stuff. Mm-hmm. How are you able to maintain? Everybody's relationship standards are very different. Some people date casually. Some people have, especially women, have a certain time frame in which they'll do certain things, or be involved with someone on a certain level. But how are you able to keep the fire burning, between you and your partner when you're not around? It was very hard. First of all, if you're new to our channel, if you're new to the platform, myself and Christopher, we met while he was still behind bars, and it was supposed to be a business, conversation. Here we are years later. Obviously, we're married. We've been together for almost 6 years. So it was definitely different. It had its challenges. And in order to sustain and build the relationship, we really had to make the decision. I had to make the decision to not talk to anybody else, as if he was just across the street or around the corner. I had to make this hard decision. I slept by myself, and I feel like those are some of the things that we should talk about. Does anybody have any questions before we start? Okay. All right. Yep.
I got you.
Did y'all meet before you were incarcerated or before? So I just touched on that part as far as how we met. We ended up going from email to actual phone conversation. There was something that happened in my life, and I wasn't able to email him directly right away. And I didn't want him to feel as if I was basically just curving him, because we were supposed to be talking business, but we had built a bond up, and I didn't want to necessarily throw that away. I did not want to risk the opportunity of not finding out who he was, just based on his circumstance. So I decided, to tell him, hey, I'm just going to drop my number. You're going to have to call me in order to talk to me. I said my whole life's changed or something like that in the email. And I think I just told you to call me. So
I got another version.
What? Okay, let's hear his version.
I got another version.
What's up, Mika?
I was running. Well, shout out to Mika. I was running a nonprofit. She was supposed to be a business advisor because she's got a business mind. You know what I'm saying? She teaches me. She still teaches me so much about business, right? And it was supposed to be a call, 20-minute call to talk about kind of introduction. Hey, I need to get some advice on this nonprofit. And the first phone call, she asking me how many kids I got. So that tells me that call was personal, not business, or at least it was mixed. There was a mixture.
I still want to know.
Two.
Why not?
I'm just saying, what that got to do with business, though, y'all?
It don't have nothing to do with business, but still.
If I had 3 kids, you weren't gonna do business with me?
No, but you just want to know. You know what I mean? I just feel like you gonna ask. You get interested, and then the people who hooked us up was like, I didn't feel like
my right hand at the time introduced me to basically like her sister at the time. Like, yeah.
So if they all laughing and ha he,
we're laughing,
basically trying to put a phone call together.
I
felt like it was okay.
Stop doing business.
Is he doing business now? Yeah,
I am doing business. I'm doing business now. No.
So for me, of course, I hit him with the what up though, and he was like, my name is Life. And I was like, what's the name your mama gave you? Just stuff like that. But anyway, it ended up turning into a friendship. And as we were talking about the friendship, we did begin to discuss like what we wanted for the future,
Excuse me. I'm sorry, y'all. She's so short that the comments just blocked her whole face. Like, all right, hold on. I'm gonna read that from the side when we're ready.
Well, I'm sure.
You all right? You good?
Okay.
I got you.
Trying to see. So, we started talking. We started having a conversation, and this is probably how long in did we really start talking about like a relationship?
2 days.
It was not 2 days. It was not. It was not 2 days.
No. Okay. So listen. I talked to her one time. After the first phone call, she asked me how many kids I had, my mama's name, my birth certificate,
I did not.
Social Security, blood type. After that, what else she did? I think she had emailed me one time, and there was a family situation she was going
That's
through.
not true. Because I emailed you after the phone
Okay,
call.
we might email a couple times.
Yeah.
You know, I would put my work in on them emails. I emailed her so good.
I think it was a competition at first, though, seriously, because you know what? I kind of feel like it was a little competitive because I feel like, because the initial first phone call, one thing that I did was I prayed for him at the end of the phone call.
Yeah.
That's something.
That's when I knew he was gonna be my wife.
That's something that I normally do for family, friends, or whoever. I
ain't never had that.
Yeah, and I'm gonna say, you know,
especially in that situation. I'm in prison. I called somebody. I've been talking to people on the phone. You know, I was talking to people, and no harm. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying, I ain't nobody in all them 17 years. And the first phone call, can you pray for me? You was my wife then. You was my wife, right? We got married right then. When you say amen, we got married. You ain't even know yet.
Whatever. So, we talked. You know, that conversation opened up other conversations, but something I did mention on one of the previous episodes that Chris he will talk about, I'm pretty sure, in the future. And for those that don't know, and something that he has touched on is he is adopted. So throughout the course of building a friendship, establishing a relationship, discussing whether or not we felt like this is something that we could take to the next level. My only request was if we could learn how to be best friends. Like, that was my straight up request from the very, very beginning. I wanted him to be my best friend. I wanted to establish that. And in that, knowing that, okay, now we're becoming the best of friends. Now we're talking about moving into, relationship. We don't know what the future is going to hold. Now he's in Virginia. I'm in Atlanta. So you talking about distance, you talking about, I got to call off work in order to even go see him, so it was a different day and age. And making that decision and accepting the fact that I was going to be in a relationship with him, one of the things that I just felt like he kind of had a hole in his heart. And that's just what I felt like as a woman, talking to a man and dating a man, and, we're getting to know each other, obviously more emotionally and mentally. So we're feeding the mental constantly. That's all we got is the phone and email. So we're asking these, questions, and we're talking about certain things. And I made it a point, I said to myself, I need him to know his family. I need him to know where he comes from if this is somebody that I'm going to build with. And as we, began building, it actually came to that. We was joking, like we be doing on this live, having a conversation. I'm teasing him about his nationality, woo-woo. And it turns into
what nationality y'all think I am?
Yeah, what nationality?
Put it in the chat. What nationality?
Put it in the chat.
Let's see if somebody can get what nationality I am in the chat. You got a question too.
Okay, so and I'll answer the question in just a moment. But I really needed that part of him. I felt like to be made whole. I felt like as a man going through what he went through, being in an environment that he was in, and him not knowing, who he truly was, like all the way, I just felt like it was something that needed to be addressed if we were ever to truly move forward and for us to really have a solid foundation. It was just certain things that I just think that we needed to figure out. There were things in my life that were going on that I just felt like I needed to figure out. So with everything that was going on, that was something that had to happen for us. And I made it a point because I loved him enough, and he was my best friend at the time, to make sure that I tried to make that happen or do everything in my power. And in 24 hours from that jokey joke, he knew exactly, where he came from, who his biological parents were, where they were, siblings, and everything in literally a 24-hour period. So I'm just saying that to say this, when you notice certain things, And for me, I know some people call it like red flags, but I just feel like it was just something inside of me. I just felt like it was something that I needed for our life to even be able to work. And these were one of the things that I tried to pick up on. So that played a major part in, you know, the determination of was we even gonna get past the friendship to even move further than that. Because I had to know what his heart was gonna be like.
What up, Justin?
What up, though? Thank you.
And Quanasia too, man. Shout out to the first timers in the room.
Thank you. So, you know, I needed to know who I was dealing with and how was they gonna kind of be on the outside, because I knew the inside Chris, I knew I wasn't gonna have on the outside. And I don't know. It's just, I just feel like anybody that's been in a situation will kind of know or relate. Maybe you can kind of expound on it a little bit more.
What aspect?
Like, as far as how did you feel about it? How did you feel about moving from a friendship to having something more? Did you feel like it was anything I needed to work on myself? Or anything that you saw in me that you felt like...
I looked up her background.
Yep.
I looked up her background like she looked up mine.
Mugshot.
She had a mugshot too. She went to jail for one night. All y'all been wrong too, by the way. But yeah, you know, for me, man, shout out to Asia, who is a man. We best of friend. 10 years later, you know what I'm saying. But she's somebody that I was in a relationship with prior to April, and I think she'll agree probably more than me. We were exhausted. You know what I'm saying? And I'm a tiring person. I'm sorry, she'll tell. I'm just one who asks a lot of you gotta have a certain type of patience with me. I know that, as much as I try to wind down. And so I think her, just like I was exhausted. I wasn't looking for a relationship. That might sound crazy. I was down to 3 years left on a 17-year sentence. I was ready to come into this world, single man, and not be locked down. I didn't want to be married. I did not want to be in a relationship. I didn't want that. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying. Yeah. Because now,
keep it real.
Yeah, because I was in a relationship that was meaningful. Like I said, we're still friends to this day. And I grew a lot in that. You know what I'm saying? And I'm grateful for that. But after that time, I was like, listen, I just want to go home and I want to take my time. I want to be me. I want to live by myself. I want to go to the clubs, or if I want. This is how I'm thinking. And then I met her, and she was just something different. Like I explained again, shout out to Playing for Keeps podcast. She would teach me things in our conversation. She would teach me. So I think as a man, when you get something you haven't had, you try to hang on to that, you know. And being that she would teach me and pour into me, because I'm overly stimulated mentally, right? Anybody that knows me, man, I'm always thinking. I got ADHD, severe. Like, I'll bounce from 16 different. Like, I'm always just coming up with ideas. Y'all see me on the internet, on social media, going crazy. This is just, you know. So
you keep the butt.
Yeah. So I need somebody that can keep me stimulated there, and then I'm good. And I just, you know, I was smart enough, I think, to recognize, like, hold on, you know, I might need to. And then there were other things. If I'm gonna be all the way, you know what I'm saying, 100% honest, not knocking anybody, but me not having children, she didn't have children. You know, I was hearing about things that guys I rocked with went home, they were running into baby daddy issues because they would date women that had, and that's not always like that, but a couple guys I knew. So, you know, that was another box. You know, I would hear only good things about her. You know, I didn't hear anything too crazy. And then I heard the last dude you was dealing with was a clown. Excuse me, I'm not gonna say that. I'm gonna say that, but anyways, I'm gonna be quiet. And I knew you weren't a bad person. I just heard it, you know what I'm saying? So I don't know. Yeah. You know, it was just one of those things. It was kind of quick, you know. Maybe we both admitted we probably maybe got married a little too quick, right?
We got married after 2 years.
It was
And
after 2
out
years.
here,
But I came straight. I'm gonna say that. This is why I say that.
oh yeah, I get you.
Right, because I got married and I had never been free, not
Yeah.
one day out here by myself. I came straight home.
Right, in 17 years.
Everybody doesn't pass that test. And I'm not even talking about in the obvious ways that you might be thinking. Most people just can't work. Most people don't, when they're coming home from incarceration, they don't know who they are. We can tell somebody we're this way, we're gonna be this way. Listen, I'm a totally different human being than what I told her I'd be, but not on purpose. You know what I'm saying? It was a lot of growing, it was evolving, it was learning curves, it was never me manipulating, but it was me thinking I had it figured out, that I was gonna come home and it was gonna be did. Boy, I came home, it was a pandemic. I had to move my mama down here. Shout out to mama, you know what I'm saying? I had a seizure year 1. We had the first miscarriage in 20. Like, it was a lot of stuff that I wasn't prepared for. And I think, I don't know. You know, it's at the same time, it's like we rushed into, not rushed into marriage, but we got married because I had to, in order for me to come straight to Georgia, we had to do it that way. And we both agreed we didn't want to be far apart. We knew that. And I knew as a man also, I want to speak to any of the guys up here. You got to be smart enough, if you got a good woman, to say, hey, I don't need time to roam around. I don't need to be out here. And I was smart enough to say, no, we need to get married because I don't want to be far apart. It would have been too easy for me to go the other way. I could have stayed in Virginia, stayed with my mother, you know what I'm saying, and did all that. But I said, no, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. But I just wanted to speak to that because it was scary as hell. I moved to Georgia the second day of me being home. I don't know anybody down here. I know her. I know her through phone calls and visits and emails. And, you know, that's the scary part. And the opposite, she don't know me. She knows me through the same way.
Yep.
You know, I could be a freaking whatever, you know, and man, so I don't want to say we rushed, but we did both say we could have waited a little bit.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
It's not so much of the rushing versus he is in transition from getting out of that whole situation. Man. So it's an adjustment period. Normally, you know, under normal circumstances, you just meet somebody, they've been out here, you know, so it's a different set of circumstances.
Where is it?
That you kind of got to be prepared for. And it's no way to prepare for anything like that.
Having to learn yourself all over again. That's why I said that. Because in the right way, I would have came home, figured myself out. Right. You know what I'm saying? And then, okay, let's move in. Right. But because we were in two separate states, we kind of got, the timeline got sped up. Yes. Again, I didn't want to be up there by myself. You know, it is what it is, man. I'm an honest man. Yeah. What I was gonna say, there was a question up here which kind of goes along with that, I guess. Sarah, did you have any naysayers saying he's playing you, and how did you handle that, or how did you know he wasn't?
I didn't have that. And I just feel like Chris is very, like, he's on a time schedule. So everything's planned. He has like severe OCD. Yeah. So I kind of know his schedule like to the T.
You know how people joke about OCD and they'd be like, I got OCD. You wouldn't joke about it if you really had it.
Yeah, it's kind of like one of them situations where I felt like he was such on a schedule. I knew it from emails to calls. Like, everything was always like scheduled. You know what I mean? And we never really deviated from that. So, no, I didn't feel like he was playing me, but I also didn't have the mindset to really care, because I just felt like in time is going to reveal it anyway. You know what I mean? So whether he did that or not, I was so focused in my own life that it would have still been a win-win either way. I still wouldn't have lost. You know what I mean? I was in school. I was switching careers. I was trying to buy a home. So I was already focused. So when we were talking and we were spending time with one another, it was literally the chill time. But you talking about while we're talking, how many months did I do overtime?
What?
10 months?
Oh, yeah.
8 months?
I don't even.
There was a period, even in 8 months, I literally was working from 8:30 in the morning to 10 o'clock at night. So it wasn't, I just had to keep going. You know what I mean? I was on a mission. I was hustling. So I really wasn't really focused on him that much. I didn't have idle time to even worry about stuff like that. And as far as there was a part 2 to that question.
Or how did you know he wasn't?
Yeah, I didn't feel like he was. And I think I already made that one pretty clear. But no, I didn't feel like he was. And I just kept myself busy and occupied. I just can't. I'm still even the same way. Like, we're together, you know, we're one, we married, but he got his own life. I got my own life too. You know what I mean? So we've been able to maintain individuality even while we've been growing together. It hasn't been just so much of, you know, I got to talk to you all the time. I got to be around you all the time. I got to see you every weekend. Like, it wasn't that type of, we didn't have that type of relationship because we were both aspiring to do other things. You know, he had to start going to school. He got his barber license while he was in there. This is all within that 2-year period. So we didn't have time to just kick it. He worked too. He had a schedule. He was working too. So, and then he got, you know, so he, in every institution he was on during this period, he had a job. Yeah. If he didn't have a job, he had school, or I think you might even did both. So, you know, we had things to occupy our time so that things like that wasn't even an issue. And I just feel like it just depends on who your partner is. You know, we hustlers in there, and, you know, while he was in there, and we still hustlers out here, still making it happen. You know, the character's still the same. We didn't deviate away from that.
Yeah. I want to, true people have been out here, but yet they have been only existed out here. It's us who have been released from the belly of the beast that's giving people out here that's been existing the opportunity to live because we're putting things in motion. Shout out to the brothers and the sisters coming home and doing things, putting on the right way.
Yes.
Tara, 2 parts that I get a lot of people trying to tell me he's playing me, but I just don't feel it in my heart. I even have people who are incarcerated at one point tell me the same thing. I'm going to say this.
Yeah, tell them about the visits.
Yeah, I'm going to say this. My cousin, I don't care. My cousin was dating a guy that was locked up where I was at. And I walk in the visitation room one time, and he's got a whole nother female in visitation room. I have seen guys that would go to the visitation room and kiss their wife and their kids and hug them, and then come home, or at the time, come home, walk back into prison and be with their boyfriend. You know what I'm saying? So for me, it's not about when it comes to that, you're either a cheater or you're not. You either care about the person or it's not about prison. It's not about freedom.
It's the people.
Yeah, it's about the person's mind state, the maturity level. And I would also say this, at a certain age, I feel like we know. Mm-hmm. You know, I feel like we know. You know, I feel like there are things that you see. And at the same time, though, when I say there's things that you may or may not see, I would say don't really pay attention to what you hear.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that are naysayers. If their word is valid and you think they're good people, good character, but if they're not there, they don't know. And you don't know people's motives, energies. You don't know their past hurts that sometimes they're going to be trying to put on your relationship. I'm not saying they're wrong or they're right, but be very cautious of what you hear, you know, and that's all I can really say. I know for me, when I seen dude in there with another female, he's supposed to be with my cousin. I went and told my cousin ASAP. And then I told him first I was going to tell my cousin. Because I'm that type of guy.
Yeah.
Quanasia says, I see it when I visit my husband. And shout out to you. See your husband serving a life sentence, man. Salute to you. Shout out to all the family members, you know, everybody, man. Everybody that's supporting their loved ones. So I seen it from me working at Mika Meeks, definitely. She's been behind the wall, ex-correctional officer. Yep. I know you've seen it. You know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yep.
Yeah, but Terry, your relationship's your relationship.
Yeah,
that's the bottom line.
It is, and you have to know your partner. And like I said, it wasn't so much of what he told me versus what he showed me. I knew that he was working. He got a check. I knew it was just certain things that we were just doing that was different. We didn't let the circumstances of him being in prison, affect our growth. And we were still able to grow while he was still in prison. So for us, it was more about the substance. Everything that we taught had substance, it had value. Everything, that we were trying to do, it had some type of value attached to it. And I'm not just talking about monetary, just the future. We were literally trying to build for the future. Yeah. Rather he was in school, the barbering, it still paid off. We got a cosmetology school now. It just everything that we were doing, it was for the future.
Thank God online.
About
to have, it was a t-shirt company.
About to get another one.
Y'all want the D100 TV merch coming
it's
soon.
On the way. Okay. So, we didn't allow our circumstances to dictate our future. And we started building our future while he was behind bars.
Facts.
We just did. You have to do well with the time. It can't be. Yeah.
I don't like really cut it off. Like I said, I'm gonna jump back out the way. I feel like anybody that is with the person, you should be trying to build something with them. Yeah. If y'all two aren't building something, and when I say this, y'all don't have to be building. We got a school, but let me tell you, the first thing we started building was my credit, because I ain't had nothing but my name, and she said, "I love you. I'm put you on a cosign." And now fast forward, my credit is all right. We about to get our second home. Credit, boom, 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 boom.
What's your social?
Yeah, we about to get our second home. But don't do that. Don't do that with everybody. I want to be clear. Yeah. Like we're not saying we took some chances. She took some chances on me. Yeah. Just like I took a chance coming straight to Georgia. She took some chances on me. So we're not saying, but everything we did, we started building for our future from the very start. Yep. Like real talk. Like look when you look back
from the first call, because it really was supposed to be about business.
Yeah.
So, we didn't know that business was going to be, intertwined within our relationship, or, now moving forward, fast forward to our marriage. But it did, it strengthened that, and you have to be willing to put in that time to make sure that your foundation is solid and it's strong. And I think that the person's character will speak for that, whoever it is, whether it's a woman or a man behind bars. And it's plenty. Let me tell you, I wanted you to speak on JB a little bit. JB got a nonprofit having a whole event next month.
Ain't got no kids. My brother,
behind bars.
My brother, golden ticket.
But what we saying is, it's still people doing stuff. You know what I mean? It's about who are they surrounding themselves by? Who's around them? Even in that environment, who are they around? What are they doing? Are they going to the library? Are they feeding your mind? They're supposed to be feeding you too, just like you feeding them. Mentally.
Bro Willie said the beauty is that though operating in different worlds, they both was on a definite chief aim, mission to improve self and condition for that inevitable physical united in the same world. God's plan. True indeed. Like, because if at this point in time, if you're an adult, and I don't know if kids on the TikToks, I know that. I don't know if there's any kids on Facebook over on this stuff, but if we're all adults, right? What are we doing when we're talking to people? Like, what are we doing? Whether you're locked up, not locked up, what are you doing?
Exactly. What you doing with your time?
What are you doing? And what are you looking for? What is he? Is he looking for a good time?
Yeah.
Ain't nothing wrong with good time, but is that all you're looking for? Do you get a good time anyway? But is you looking for somebody you can build something with?
Substance?
Are you looking for somebody that cares about their life? For me, what I seen with her was, and this isn't a knock on anybody, but I'm just saying what it is. A lot of times we get into situations I'm gonna talk to the fellas real quick. I'm gonna go all the way. A lot of times the fellas get in situations that are locked up. I hope I don't visit with women that they're waiting for them to come home and be saved, and these guys end up in bad situations. So if you got a queen, you got a woman that's building something for herself, that's sacrificing for herself already, is showing discipline for herself, man, hang on tight, because everybody's not like that, man. Some people are literally, they won't do it on purpose. They'll love you or whatever, but they'll be leading you to a bad situation that you're not ready for and you can't handle. So if you got somebody that's already building something, it's easier for y'all to build together, to build an empire together, as opposed to coming home from prison and trying to pull somebody. It's hard, man, and not everybody's able to do it. And I've seen a lot of guys fall victim. Women too. Don't get it twisted. It's both sides of the fence. You see guys coming home, they lying to women the whole time, come home, get what they can get, and they're gone in 2 weeks. You know what I'm saying? So it's a bunch of different things, man. But you know what I'm saying? If you more for me is, if you got a good one, hang on. Like, do what you need to do. If you got parts where you struggling, just grow. You know what I'm saying? Just grow. I had to do a lot of growing because I didn't want to lose my way. I wanted to stay. I was smart enough to know that. The best thing a woman can invest in is within a man's heart. Man, you spoke a mouthpiece there. The way she loves me, I can't even explain it. I really can't explain it. She had Mr. Crystal Willis reading all types of books, and she had me doing homework. All types of homework.
Yeah.
Person can tell whether a person looking for a good time, person that true indeed.
Yeah.
Sit back, just be quiet. Just let a person talk. Just be quiet. Just go like
that part.
Yeah. People love to talk. I love to talk too. But I tell you, man, let me tell you about me though.
But what you talking about?
Yeah, what you talking about? Because people like me listening. Mika Meek, she said, yes, right. I'm going through all the. If they are building, they are also destroying to make a better structure. True indeed. You can't. You got to build and destroy.
Yes.
I already know that. We grow. There's so many. I'm making sure we're going through all the comments. I've been growing myself a lot for the last 2 years. Get with people that are growing.
And I was gonna say, some of this stuff I'm actually saving for the ladies for the Prison Wife Chronicles. But I'm gonna touch on that too. We're gonna touch about. We're gonna talk about the stuff that that we still have to deal with, because I think that sometimes, as the woman on the outside and the man on the inside, we just feel like they just the ones that really need to work. It is, hey, we got baggage too. So we're gonna address some of the trauma, that we have to deal with, in order for us to be the best version of ourselves, to be able to support somebody in this type of situation. Because you gotta have a whole lot of strength, you gotta have a whole lot of tenacity, you have to have patience, and your heart just gotta be full. In order, I just feel like, for it to be successful. So we're gonna talk about a couple of those pieces too. I know, right? We do. We need work. It's plenty of stuff I'm still working on. It was stuff I was working on. I talked to about Chris in the beginning. As far as his heart, and I just felt like with him knowing his biological parents and things like that. But it was stuff that I was still dealing with. And I'll be talking about it, in the future too. But my father is serving a life sentence. And I used to go in and out to go see and visit my father, my biological father, because I was raised by somebody else. So it's a lot of this. I've been dealing with, being affected by, I'm a justice impacted person too, because I've been dealing with this since I was 4 years old, going to see my own father. So there's things, I had to deal with, or I wouldn't even be with him if I was, so traumatized. There's no way I could be in a situation like this. So I didn't even let my past trauma hold me back, but we'll get into detail about that in the future.
The Love vs. Prison Chronicles. The trailer's up. Shout out to Todd Patterson. Put the trailer up. It's
Thank
on
you.
E100 TV Facebook community page, man. So shout out to Todd. Trailer's up. And when we ain't gonna put you on blast.
No, because I'm gonna select the date, but it will be posted by Thursday.
That's what's up. Let's get it. Real quick, I want to, before we go all the way out, I want to talk about what are some good tips, your top 2 or 3 or your 1 through 5, whatever tips to give couples, when one partner's on the inside, one partner's outside.
I'm going to start with Chris's number 1, have a list. And for me, it was have a schedule. A schedule helps. A schedule with the cause. That way, you don't have to think outside the box.
And I was a phone right, like I get on the. Not everybody can get on the phone, but I would be on the phone if I could, locked up. Well, when I wasn't working, some days I want to call her in the morning, at night, and then I was one of the guys I was running a phone line so I could get on the phone. Not glorifying that. I want to be clear on that too. Just because somebody asked me that question on TikTok, they're like, "Bro, did you run a phone line?" I did, but you know what my phone line was? My phone line was the phone where all the civilians could get on it. All the guys that were too scared to ask the gang members, anybody could get on my phone. That was my phone line. I had to ask. That was a good question that was asked on the TikTok.
Yeah. So that would be my number 1. Definitely want to have a schedule. You definitely want to have a list of things, that you can work towards. Have some common goals. You got to have a goal sheet. We had a goal sheet, and we started that probably in like 2018. Yeah. And I remember we wrote it in 2019, wrote another one in 2020, and so on and so forth, and it's still going to this day. So things like that, I would feel like those 2 things, just those 2 things alone, I feel like can ease everybody's mind and kind of keep the anxiety a little bit lower. That way he don't have to worry about, if I call her right now, what is she going to be doing? No, we were in the third thing. Stay busy. Stay busy. Keep yourself busy. Somebody needs to be doing something. It can't be all this. The phone costs too much.
Yeah.
For one.
Make your phone calls count.
I'm
not going to say we made everyone count.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, be smart about it. We didn't talk on the phone all day long. He not going to call me and we ain't going to be on this phone for 6 hours. Have a budget. Chris had a job, so I didn't have to put money on his books, but I did keep money on the phone. Yeah. So that was our deal. He didn't stretch me. So I wasn't doing more than I should have. I just feel like he carried his own weight, and he carried his own weight. I'll just say that, and I'll leave it at that, because it's some of the things I'm gonna talk about on Prison Wife Chronicles.
It's okay. No, not yet. Couple more weeks, y'all. I'm gonna start going crazy on this platform. Yeah, I gotta dot some more I's, cross some more T's, and I'm gonna start really going there, y'all.
But those 3 things, you definitely gotta have. Yeah.
I got a different.
What's your 3?
I'm reading. Planning is very important, because we fail to plan. We've
already lost. Come on, man. Fail to plan, you plan to fail.
All right. So some of my tips to make sure that your relationship, or to give your relationship a chance to work. If one of you is inside,
long distance.
Yeah, one of you's inside, one of you's out, long distance, etc. Number 1 is communicate. Communicate. There's no such thing as overly communicating, especially when a lot of your communication comes through the phone. So I'm not saying overly communicate, make 1,000 phone calls,
or 1,000
emails. Yeah, but when you call somebody, because you can't see somebody's face, you don't know. Sometimes you gotta express, hey man, today's a good day, today's a bad day. I'm frustrated. It has nothing to do with you. I'm going through this. So communicate. 1B to that part of communicate is learn how to communicate effectively. Listen to respond rather than react. I've had to learn that. A lot of us, we come home from incarceration, we come home from prison. It's harsh, it's brutal, it's aggravated. The COs are nasty. People grunt at each other. Society does not evolve much in there because it's a limited space. You gotta learn how to communicate sometimes all over again. Yeah. Number 2 is be transparent. I feel like I've seen it on both sides. Yeah, I've seen it on both. I've seen guys on the phone, they talking to their girl and then they hang up and they call another girl. You know what I'm saying? And then I've seen her on this side. I've seen the girl that was coming up there to visit his home or her man. His homeboy comes home before her man. Now she's pregnant with the homeboy because he got home first. I've seen it all, man. I've seen some really nasty stuff. I've heard some things. I've seen some things. You know what I'm saying?
But so also some good.
Yeah, that's what I was going to. But I've also seen some great things. But I don't think I think the difference between the two is with the great things comes transparency. Because there's gonna be tough moments. I'm not saying tough moments like that, but you gotta be able to disagree with people. You gotta be able to tell people, yo, I ain't messing with you right now. I need 13 seconds over here. Let me breathe. You know, you gotta be able to say some things. So you gotta be able to. I could not be married if I could not be transparent. If I couldn't express how I feel in the moment. You know, I think it's key, and I think anybody should want that. So transparency is key, and beware of those that don't allow you to be transparent. Number 3, keep people out your relationship. I don't know why. I got a saying: stop going to underqualified people for overqualified advice. We oftentimes will go to people that have no idea about what we're going through.
Yeah,
they don't know about our
and
relationship.
Your situation is different off the rip if you're in a situation like this too, by the way.
Yeah. A lot of times nobody's been in that situation. But more importantly, it's hard to get advice from somebody you know, because again, you don't know what the motive is. It could be good, it could be bad, they could be deflecting what they've gone through, it could be their fear that, you know, it could be anything. You know what I'm saying? But you gotta be cautious who you invite into your relationship. I feel like sometimes you gotta protect what you have.
Yep.
You know how the stars do it, the Hollywood stars, they don't come out, they be dating 6-7 months and they come out 8 months later and it's a fit. Sometimes you gotta do that. Yep. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you gotta do that. He tells me about that as well, the guy. Yeah. The next thing is be honest with yourself when it comes to the person you're talking to. A lot of time, not just in prison, out here, people are lonely. People want companionship. I get it. People want certain things. And a lot of times we end up dating or hooking up or connecting for the wrong reasons. We end up connecting with people. We're looking for love, you know, but we end up finding somebody that we like. And now we're with them for 9 months. And we wasted time and resources. And we formed bonds with whoever in there. And we've crossed lines that are hard to so be very honest with yourself when it comes to the person that you're dealing with. Are you in love with the person, or are you in love with the thought of the person? Are you in love with the thought of what might be, or do you actually know what it's going to be? You know what I'm saying? Like, what's going on with your gut, your inner thoughts? Like, how real are you going to be with yourself? Because there's plenty of people I know, man, they're together and they don't want to be together. I'm going to say that.
And I got one to add to that one too. Are you in love with their potential? Gotta be. She had to be in love with my potential. No, you was working. Man, I'm in prison blues. You was working and you went to school. You ain't had no interest in barber. He ain't had no interest in barbering. He did that because he knew that was something that I wanted, you know, and we talked about it because I was like, hey, that's free education. Wait a minute. That's up to $10,000 to $20,000 value. We might need that. You know what I mean? And I figured if I got that, I got her locked in and even more. Hey, first 5 in that class. She made me work for it as much as she could. I did too. Yeah, you definitely did. Because you did traveling, going through the prisons and shakedowns. Man, like married, leaving by myself, wedding day. You got to say that for your show. Oh, no question. Call that one the honeymoon. You gotta say that one. Because I wonder how many women have married their spouse while they were incarcerated. I think one, they just said she did year 1. Okay. But yeah, you gotta go in on that one. Oh right there. You gotta that's a whole that's a good one. I think that's it though. We ain't gonna keep rambling for too long, man. Shout out to each and everyone. Make sure y'all sharing, please. Share the content, like the content, comment. Share, like, comment, subscribe. It's pushing in the algorithms, which is amazing. It's growing. The conversation's going, the narrative, as Brother Willie says, is being pushed.
and we're changing it. You know, a lot of people place certain stereotypes on these types of relationships, or formerly incarcerated people and incarcerated people. Sometimes stereotypes are placed on the spouses of those that are incarcerated. I can only imagine that we could probably do a whole show.
Yep.
You know,
I
so
think somebody's about to get married in June. Congratulations. I saw a date.
Okay, June 6, 2023.
Whoop whoop.
6/6/2023.
Oh yeah, we'll have an episode about that before before then.
Yeah. But yeah, just shout out to everybody that's sharing, helping push the content, push the platform. We definitely appreciate it.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you for engaging with us, because the more people come, it's easier to kind of navigate and actually have an open dialogue, actually have open conversation. And that's what I love about it. You know, I feel like it's just not enough, you know, people out here that's just willing to just talk about the real stuff. You know what I mean? I mean, you got your homegirls, you know, you got your homeboys and stuff like that. But I just feel like to find genuine people and just being able to just have open dialogue sometimes it's just kind of like a mental break. You know, it definitely helps me, you know. So just thank y'all for tuning in, because it helps me as a person. Just period. I like this. It's very helpful.
Yeah. And that's it, man. Salute to y'all. Any final words for today?
No, I'm excited, working on my speech.
Yeah. I'm gonna leave it off of what I heard at Life Changers today. Rain is coming, man. Y'all keep going. Yeah, y'all keep going. A lot of people in tough situations, circumstances, but keep going. The rain is coming. Continue to support one another. Shout out to everybody on the platform. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with us.
Yes.
We're starting here now, but I'm so excited about where this thing's going.
Yeah.
And hope that each and every one of you is with us every step of the way.
Yes.
And that's it. It's time to get some rest.
Yeah.
We gotta get back into Monday.
We be in bed at 8.
Yeah, it's past bedtime. We're gonna holler at y'all later. Y'all be easy. What? Yeah, it's over with. We early birds. Yep, we gone.
Sad.
Peace, man.
Peace, y'all.
Peace.